In this video, Corey's Garage, you're getting ready to see, I finally, after the cam swap, and after, what was it, 2020 is when we went to Arizona, went to the zip tie drags, finally decided to take this thing back to the racetrack. I've just mainly been cruising it and driving it and everything. So you're gonna see what it ran on street tires with a 350 gear in it, 28-inch tall tire, and just trying to drive it as best I can. Did pretty good. I was looking to go in the 12s. You'll see what in the video if I accomplish that or not. I mean, it should do it, but again, the car really needs like a 410 gear and some really sticky tires to maximize the potential, because I'm going through the traps at like, 5,000 RPMs in third gear, and I should be in fourth, peak RPM going through. So like there's so much left on the table, but this car is my cruiser, man. I can run 80, 85 miles an hour all day long. I made it to drive. I didn't make it to make a race car out of it. So it's kind of fun just to tell you. It kind of goes back to like the roots of what I did when I started, because when I first started drag racing, I just took whatever I had. It didn't have to have the right gear, the right tire, and as we learn more about this stuff and try to make the right car, you forget that it's all about just going out there with your buddies and racing and everything. And that's my most favorite part about it. I've been drag racing my whole life, but I've really never, the fastest I've been is 11, so compared to what they do today, I might as well have not done anything. But my main thing is just to go out there with my friends, get out of the house, go do some stuff, and and I love racing a stick shift car. So I would rather have a 13-second stick shift car as opposed to having a 9-second automatic or an 8-second automatic car. I love slamming gears, man. So yeah, watch and enjoy, and you'll see we did have some problems, and it had nothing to do with what engine choice I wanted. It's got nothing to do with being LS swapped. It could have happened to any engine configuration, but had a little bit of a problem, but actually had a pretty good time. I got to hang out with one of my buddies I had seen in a while, Brady. Thanks for the help. And yeah, enjoy, watch, check it out. And if you get a chance, punch that subscribe button, and we'll keep making these videos. Thanks, guys.
13.6 at 107.51. Thirteen two, 107.93. Ten point nine, 123. 13.159 at 108.1. Nice. Yes! 12.935, 108.75.
So we just left the racetrack. A flawless evening, 1290s at 108 miles an hour with a crappy 60 foot. Just taking off like I'm at a stoplight. And we get down, going down the highway, and I was like, it seems like this thing is running a little bit richer on the ECU screen. And then I was like, our lights are just dim, man. It's like, and then even you said, it's like, is your headlights even on? And so we pulled over and checked it. It's not charging. So
What was it, 10.9?
yeah, it's like 10.9. So basically, it's not charging at all. So either the alternators went bad, which I could see it because this thing, I was shifting the 1.2 at like 7,200 RPMs, and then I was winding it up to like 5,200 when I went through the trap. So this alternator spun harder probably than it's ever spun. But I'm just wondering if there's a wire, because there's going to be 12 volts that excites this alternator. I wonder if that circuit's broken. So I don't know. I can excite the alternator, but I don't know which post to do that with. So, but yeah, an almost flawless night. So yeah, I don't know which one of these wires excites that. I got an idea. Let's I wonder if he's still got that truck we saw earlier. I bet he's got cables in that thing. That thing will charge a battery. He come up here and charge this thing for a little bit, and then we can go.
Might do it.
Yep. Oh, we go flat. We're still managing 8.2 volts.
Will we make it home? Those lights are awfully dim. So this is what we're dealing with. Super dim. one light's barely even on.
All right, it's been a few days after we got back from the racetrack, and I knew the alternator more than likely was going out, so I pulled the old one off and I spun it like you would any other alternator. This is my new one, the old one's already gone, but you could just feel the grinding of the bearings and stuff bad in it. So I knew that it needed to be changed anyways, but I went ahead and took it down, had it tested. It's not making any voltage or anything like that. So I'm sure that stator, the alignment inside the windings or whatever, it was junk. It was a junkyard alternator when I got it. So it's been on here 5 years, 6 years, something like that. However long it was since I started this, at least 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I just went down. I got the standard. I ordered it for an 02 2500 pickup, 105 amp alternator for the truck. And yeah, it's pretty simple. I'm using the ICT billet front mount accessory. So I've got the truck harmonic balancer. I've got the Camaro Firebird water pump, like your 98 through 02. Trying to think, I got the Camaro Firebird power steering pump. So I'm just using their front drive accessory kit. So it's pretty easy. It's like changing an alternator on anything else. It's real easy to work on. So let's put this thing on here and we'll hook it up and see if it charges and everything. So. Just like that, it's on there. Looks really nice. So now the only thing we got to do is fire this thing up and see if it charges, which I'm pretty sure it will, but famous last words, I guess. All I got to do is tighten this up. I was going to leave it loose until I've made sure the belt was going to have some decent tension on it. So I got to please remember to do that. I'll leave these loose, but yeah. After I start it, let it run for a little bit, I'll adjust that turnbuckle and get the preload on that belt. But other than that, it'll be good to go. So we'll fire this thing up and 14.9. That's better. Not bad. The alternator, 15. I'd say we got it fixed. It really didn't want to run though. After I did that, I had to keep it revved up to like 3,000 RPM. So I guess like the ECU learned, but I would imagine those new plugs I just put in are fouled out. So I'll take run it down the road and see how it goes. So far we're charging pretty good. On street tires with the wrong gear. Now I drove it for all I could get it to drive for. Ran a 1280 something at like 108.9, so almost 109 miles an hour. The 60 foots are ranging anywhere from like 2.2 to like 2.6. So like I literally could not take off with any kind of aggression. Like I tried leaving at 2,000 RPM, spinning wheel hop. Basically, I took off from the stoplight like I was trying to get over and get in front of somebody to make a turn. Like I could just barely get moving and then slowly roll into the gas. And then about the time I could hit second, I floored it. So like there's more left on the table on the takeoff. But again, this is a cruiser. I don't have any plans to put sticky tires on it. Do I think that 410s and a sticky tire would really make a difference? Absolutely, because I would be getting closer to going through the traps in fourth gear at more of a peak RPM. But again, it's staying the way it is, not changing anything. Like I said, because it works too good as a driving car. And I was wanting to set this up back when I had the big block and stuff in it too, go with drag racing, have the optimal performance. But you know, as I'm getting older, my tastes have changed, and like, you know, I would rather just cruise it. So, but we did have some problems on the way home. That RPM, as you can see, got to the alternator. I ended up taking it off, having it tested, and you could literally just turn it, and it was just grinding. So I would imagine the bearings were eating up in it, and like the stator probably had, I don't know how, I know how that works with the windings and all that stuff, because like electric motors and all that kind of stuff, but like it wasn't charging. They tested it, so I bought a brand new alternator, and it's actually the truck alternator that's like, oh, it's on this Yukon or my GMC or whatever, you know. And that's the only casualty. And luckily I had a jump box. I didn't bring any tools like an idiot for some reason. It's like the only time I didn't bring any tools. And but I have to thank Matt for going with me, because like I said, he's pretty much got a part in all of my filming and basically all my projects and stuff. Like, he helps me through all of it. So thank you, Matt, for your help and going with me and hanging out. And then thank you, Brady, for answering the phone that late at night, because we had stopped at a Quick Trip. And like, yeah, he could have took us home. We could have got my truck and trailer, but at the same time, I was like, man, we can figure this out. I tried to energize the alternator with a 12-volt source, and it didn't get the alternator charging. So we went to Brady's house, which happened to live just right across the highway. He came over there. We charged the battery for an hour or two, hung out for a while, and then me and Matt made the journey, left there, and we had like 23 miles to go to get home, and this thing barely made it. Like, we were coasting in the driveway, and it was actually still running before I shut it off, but the car was completely dead. Like, the lights would barely glow in it. And what's crazy is everything on this car, you know, electronic EFI, you got injectors, fuel pump, the fans weren't running, but I mean, everything runs off some type of an amp draw. So it's like, the fact that this car was still running with like 7 volts left in it just blows my mind. It was like, it's really amazing. So, but yeah, we made it. I charged the battery up really well. We got another alternator, and I've since put 100 miles on it, you know, since that's all passed and everything. So, yeah, so thank you, Matt. Thank you, Brady. I appreciate you hanging out and helping me with this stuff. Like I said, you can't do any of this stuff without your friends. Like, they're the most important part. I have to say, what else? Strong Speedworks, I had him do the tune on it. First, I had Brandon Horton. He helped me get it going, but it still needs some fine tuning. My first LS swap this car. But once I got the stick in and everything, the Phytech deal so far, the engine management has worked really well. The transmission, when I had the automatic 4L60 in it, I can never get it dialed, never get it working right. And since I swapped to the stick shift and all that kind of stuff, at the very last, after I put the cam in it, Brandon Strong Speedworks, he did the tune on it. This engine runs phenomenally, man. My deal is I don't want to work on it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to tune on it. I have him basically take care of my tuning needs and everything. So thank you for dialing this thing in. Try to think of what else. That's about all I can come up with. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like what we're doing with all this kind of stuff, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm starting to really like doing this. At first I didn't, because the editing and all the camera stuff is pretty tough. But now it's like, I'm really enjoying it. So, but yeah, got so much more stuff to do. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop. So I am enjoying what I'm doing. I hope you guys like it. On to the next one.